Hey, scholars, let's talk about quality. Second of the 10 OM decisions, critical to any organization's success as it goes forward. And the chapter starts with where I think we all need to start in our organizations, which is with a definition of what quality is. The definition I like is that quality is a consistent delivery of a product, be it a good or service, which is fit for the purpose which the business intends and the customer expects. To me, that pretty much says it all. That, what do we want our product to essentially do for the customer? What does the customer expect that the product is going to do for them? And are we able to give that to them in a consistent fashion? If we can, we probably have met our quality standard. Quality needs to be measured. We need to understand whether we're happy or sad with the quality of our organization. I gave a couple of examples in the book. One of them was sandpaper. Simple example. You can go to any dollar store and buy 5 sheets of sandpaper for $1. You can go to Lowe's and buy 5 sheets of sandpaper for $4. And they're just a little bit different. It depends on what the customer is looking for. If the customer just wants something to quickly do a quick little sanding of whatever, then maybe the dollar sandpaper's plenty. If they want something that'll stand up to a little bit more rigor, then maybe they need the $4 sandpaper. But the fact of the matter is that there's different levels of quality, and as in our organization and operation, we need to understand what our customers are looking for and deliver that. One of the tricky things about quality in 2016 is the rate of change that happens with our products. We talked a little bit about that in our last video on design of goods and services. As far as the rate of change goes for our products or services, is that they're always changing and changing at a very fast pace. And, if you were IBM and you had the IBM Selectric typewriter in its 18th year of production, it probably wasn't that hard to produce that product on a consistent basis. But if you're Google and you're constantly updating your search engine results, you've got to continually be staying ahead of the game. If you're Microsoft and you're working now on, I don't know what it would be, Windows 10 is the latest, but Windows 11, 12, 13, wherever they're focused, that's something where you really have to keep quality in mind, because it's one right after the other after the other. It's like our cell phones, which every 6 months or so there's a new and better version of them coming out. It's how we stay competitive. So quality has to happen in a fashion that is where we're able to get our product out into the marketplace. Remember, we compete in 3 different areas. We compete in price, we compete on quality, and we compete on responsiveness. So we have to be able to keep that quality in mind as we are focusing on keeping costs down and keeping up with the others in the industry in the responsiveness category. We talked about 2 giants of quality, Edward Deming and Joseph Juran, excuse me, both PhDs, both worked in Japan after World War II. And Deming's 14 points of culture, I'm not going to review them all here, but as critical in Deming's mind was having a culture of quality. And you develop a culture of quality by focusing on it as a leader and as a manager. He believed, as did Juran, that quality has to be infused into the organization. It's not a separate and distinct part of the company, but it is part of the fiber of the organization. So you build quality and quality assurance into the process of designing and producing your products and services. We had the Deming's bullseye, figure 5.1 on page 91. And the bullseye had 4 rings. The outer ring is a culture of quality. The next inner ring is quality processes. The next is management, focus, and controls. And the final center of the ring is quality at our desired level. And the chapter goes then on to place the 14 points of quality into the various rings. And critical here again is that we're focused on first the outer ring. We have to have the culture of quality, and then we move in from there. What are the processes that we've defined that will assure that the organization is producing things at a quality fashion? As with anything, you do have to measure it, and to control it, and then finally, are we delivering our product at the level of quality that we want? Next, let's talk about Juran. One more thing on Deming. Deming had something he called the Deming wheel, which was the plan, do, check, act wheel. That's on page 95 of the text. Talked about Juran and Juran's 3 areas of quality. He had a number of different areas that he felt were important, but I've summarized them into 3. One was quality control, one was quality improvement, and then the third was quality planning. And he's a little bit more focused on operations than Deming's was, who was more focused on the culture. I think when you put these 2 together, it really does say what needs to be said regarding quality in an organization. And just flip through the pages. I think that's about it. There's plenty of math that we can do around quality. We talked about that. And the math's important. In class, I said that I want you to learn the concepts more than the math. The math can come later. It's important, and I'm not saying it's not important, but it's more important to me that you get out of this class with a clear understanding of the basic concepts of what you want to achieve, and know that there's math around measuring and controlling and doing your job as an operations manager, but understand the concepts first, and then we'll get into the math later.